You know what Gamescom is all about? Games! And this year we've got an absolutely unreal number of new titles announced, as well as a closer look at a few of those we were already hyped for. So here's all the Xbox titles that went on show at Gamescom 2022.
Steampunk Souls-like based on the story of Pinocchio might not have been on your bingo card for 2023, but I can say that Lies of P looks amazing without any fear of my nose getting any bigger. And it's also coming day one to Xbox Game Pass. It turns out the Gotham Knights won't just have the likes of the Penguin and Mr. Freeze to worry about, they'll also be up against Harley Quinn and Clayface. In fact, the situation has become so dire that they've actually bumped the game's release date up to October 21st just to give us all a fighting chance. You'll be able to simulate an unprecedented number of goats in Goat Simulator 3 thanks to its 4-person multiplayer. Take part in all kinds of minigames with your friends or just go around causing goatly destruction together. The latest Sonic Frontiers trailer not only confirmed that our prickly pal will be speeding into town on November 8th, but that he'll be bringing his good friend Amy along with him. The next entry in the Dark Pictures anthology will be checking us into a very sinister looking hotel on November 18th. In fact, the devil in me is giving off some serious Saw and Hostel vibes.
Warhammer 40k Darktide is a grimy first-person actioner which sees you take on a group of convicts on a Suicide Squad-style mission. It's dark, deadly, and due to arrive on PC on November 30th, with the Xbox Series X and S release coming shortly after. If you're looking for a Toy Story with a whole lot more firepower, then feast your eyes on Hypercharge Unboxed. Available now on PC, this wave-based shooter will be arriving on Xbox consoles in the near future too. The creator of the Callisto Protocol has promised it to be an even gorier game than Dead Space. And while that might seem like a tall, very messy order, the latest trailer suggests that it might just be legit. We'll have to wait until December 2nd to find out though. Master storytellers Quantic Dream are back with a new aquatic adventure called Under the Waves. Dive into the depths of the North Sea in a search for oil, excitement, and personal revelations. Mostly oil though. When Xbox Series X, S, and One promises to deliver us Mars, you know that it's a promise you can trust. It'll be here on February 2nd, and it looks like it's got quite a story to tell.
More layers, more fears. Both Layers of Fear games are being remade and expanded with all the HDR, ray tracing, 4K goodness you could ask for on Xbox Series X and S early next year. Benedict Fox came snooping by to give us a closer look at some of his supernatural talents ahead of the game's day one release on Xbox and PC Game Pass next year. Probably avoid this one if you're planning on getting a tattoo anytime soon though. Have you ever wondered if Stardew Valley could be improved by, I don't know, giving you a highly powerful mech suit to tend your crops with? Well, then be sure to check out Lightyear Frontier when it hits Xbox and PC Game Pass next spring. Coming straight to Xbox on December 13th, High on Life is a first-person shooter from the creators of Rick and Morty. The Gamescom trailer confirms that it will be every bit as irreverent, obscene, and generally insane as the show. In 2023, Xbox Series X and S gamers will have the chance to build their very own theme park, with fully modular buildings ensuring that the only limit is your imagination. And maybe the laws of physics, but who really cares about them?
If you weren't already incredibly excited for the upcoming remake of the legendary horror title System Shock, this new trailer should set you right. Take to the deserts of Arrakis alongside thousands of other players in this survival MMO, Dune Awakening. Hunt for spice, play politics, and try not to get eaten by the sandworms. A spiritual successor to the 2014 dark fantasy game, The Lords of the Fallen will take place 1,000 years after the original and feature uninterrupted online co-op. Hogwarts Legacy showed off a new trailer to remind us that the Wizarding World isn't all chocolate frogs and butterbeer. There's plenty of dark magic floating about it too. It's out next year, with early access available to those who pre-order. The Borderlands universe continues to expand with the narrative adventure New Tales from the Borderlands. Those acid-dipped, cel-shaded visuals are looking better than ever thanks to the Unreal Engine, and you won't have to wait long at all to feast your eyes on them since the game arrives on October 21st. Showing off some new gameplay involving some bizarre super abilities against androids and all sorts of weird mechanical oddities, Atomic Heart is going to be coming later this year to console and straight onto Game Pass.
Alright, let's kick off a bit of a speed round then. Ship of Fools is a seafaring roguelike in which you'll have to defend your ship from vicious pirates and all manner of sea monsters. Although it does feature co-op, so at least you can have your first mate beside you to keep things ship-shaped when the game arrives on September 22nd. And if you're looking for even more seafaring adventures to go along with that, the team behind the Port Royale games have you covered with their new title, Tortuga, A Pirate's Tale. Moving Out is back for more furniture-flinging fun with cross-play co-op so that you can enjoy trashing people's houses with all of your favourite friends, and now you can do it online. Xbox Series X and S gamers are in for a treat next year with the monster hunting action RPG Atlas Fallen on the way. From the team behind The Surge, this one also features full co-op support.
Already a hit on PC, the space scavenging game Hardspace Shipbreaker is coming to Xbox Series X and S on September 20th, and it'll be available on Xbox Game Pass so you don't have to go selling off scrap metal to afford it. Once an 80s cult classic and now an asymmetrical multiplayer game, Killer Klowns from Outer Space will see teams of 7 hardy humans trying to stay out of the grasp of 3 creepy clowns. Scars Above promises an eerie extraterrestrial adventure as a scientist finds herself abandoned and alone on a hostile alien planet. This winter, Xbox gamers will get to delve into the origin story of Baba Yaga herself in the folklore-inspired action-adventure game Blacktail. Phantom Hellcat's mission statement is to bring the hack-and-slash genre back to its roots, and it certainly looks like it's got enough hacking and slashing to achieve that goal. Throw in some neat 2D platforming and an incredibly cool-looking protagonist, and this looks like one to keep your eye on.
A neuroscientist with a rare memory disorder travels through parallel realities in the mind-bending thriller The Gap, which is aiming to release on Xbox Series X and S early next year. Then, set in a distinctive medieval sci-fi world, the Last Oricru drops you down into the middle of a raging war and lets you decide how to proceed from there. Pick a side, try to bring them together, or just see how much chaos you can cause. The choice is yours. Coming straight onto Xbox Game Pass on September 22nd, Beacon Pines is a storybook adventure in which you play as both the lead character and the person reading about them. By collecting new words along the way, you'll be able to alter the course of the narrative. Perhaps you'll even make it to a happily ever after. But here's one that's sure to have you saying Mamma Mia. Let's Sing ABBA is on its way to Xbox consoles on October 13th. 30 years of Swedish pop sensations in one neat package. Obsidian's medieval murder mystery Pentiment is coming to Game Pass later this year too, on November the 15th. This beautiful interactive tapestry is quite something to behold and will make for one of the most unique gaming experiences one can have.
The Chant is a third-person horror game about an eerie island retreat where people are slowly consumed by their own negative energy. It'll pit you against all kinds of supernatural horrors, and it arrives on Xbox Series X and S on November 3rd. Ereban's Shadow Legacy is a 3D stealth game in which you get to take advantage of some unique shadowy powers to slink around a cyberpunk city. It'll be sneaking onto Xbox and PC Game Pass on day one sometime next year. The dark fantasy action RPG Soulstice is one you won't have to wait long for at all, as it'll be hitting Xbox Series X on September 20th. Although, given some of the bad guys they've shown off so far, maybe you'd rather have more time to prepare. If you're looking for a Metroidvania with that handcrafted feel, then keep an eye out for the truly gorgeous Afterimage when it arrives this winter. Do you enjoy a good genre mashup? Well, here's a new one for you. Grid Force Mask of the Goddess is a grid-based bullet hell RPG. Currently scheduled for September, it promises some rapid-fire strategy action.
There's a new trailer for Sker Ritual that gave us a glimpse of the horrifying elites that you'll be taking on in this co-op FPS when it arrives in October, and honestly, a glimpse might have been enough. Stick to the shadows and hop for dear life in the strange spiritual adventure SCHiM. Boasting a really unique line drawing art style, it sees you playing as a detached soul on a quest to reunite with its human. And if you're worried about spending too much time on your phone, well, how about spending some time inside of it in the quirky, satirical adventure Backfirewall? That's coming to Xbox consoles later in the year. Playing as someone who's both a knight and a witch, you'll get to enjoy some magical deck building and fast-paced shoot-'em-up action, because in the Night Witch, some women can have it all.
Bravery and Greed is a co-op dungeon brawler where up to 4 players can seek out their fortune together by kicking all kinds of fantastical ass. It arrives on Xbox consoles this fall. If you're looking to sink into some cozy autumn vibes, then head directly to Hokko Life, which will be meandering over to Xbox consoles on September 27th. Craft clothing and furniture, do some farming, hang with the locals, and just generally have a nice laid-back time. You deserve it. Thumb through the files of the SCP and find out about the anomalies that have been happening all over our world in the paranormal investigation thriller SCP Secret Files. It hits consoles next year and we'd love to tell you exactly when that is, but I'm afraid that information is classified. Now, this summer's Elvis movie was pretty good, but at no point did our pomodored protagonist use his musical abilities to unleash a deadly 12-hit combo. Fortunately, the rhythm fighting game God of Rock will be here this winter to put that right.
Teslagrad's physics-based platforming had a magnetic pull that we just could not get away from, and we're ready to get sucked in all over again when Teslagrad 2 turns up next spring. We also saw a little more of the action RPG Stray Blade. Due out sometime next year, it looks like it will have a nice, deep crafting system to go with all that hacking and slashing. And finally, rumours of Dead Island 2's demise turned out to be greatly exaggerated as it clawed its way back out of the dirt to deliver one of the most gloriously gory trailers Gamescom has ever seen. With some great games to dig into in the next few months and a whole bunch to look forward to in the future, Gamescom 2022 basically confirmed what we all already knew. There's never a dull moment when you're an Xbox gamer. Sound off in the comments about the trailers you're most excited about, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for all the latest updates on all these awesome titles. Bye!